Hello class, welcome back. Now, going from symbolic anthropology, we're really getting into a very interesting genre and very interesting phase of anthropology as a discipline is in itself. So, welcome to this section. What fascinates me as a discipline of anthropology is that it always quite reflexive about its inner crisis, not shying away, and also giving us impetus for the future, what could coming up. So here we'll discuss an inexplicable crisis and also a hostile world. How a discipline negotiating with that. It would be a very interesting journey to see. Now, here comes the very interesting part. In terms of institutionalization, prestige, and public recognition, anthropology as an academic discipline had reached a peak after the Second World War. And when we're talking about Second World War, we shouldn't be forgetting how anthropology has evolved, how it is highly related to the colonizer, how it also helped creating the other. At the same time, both theoretically and methodologically, anthropologists themselves really trying to deal with this process. Yet at the same time, cries and worries about a crisis of anthropology had begun to ring out, with voices both within and beyond the field experience expressing increasing doubts about the plausibility, coherence, and relevance of the discipline. Yet nothing within the discipline itself seemed to reflect any cause for concern, not at all at the level of organization, not in terms of institutionalization. Thus, for Kathleen Goff and Talal Assad, the origins of this crisis was to be found in the origins of the discipline itself that I have just indicated. Decolonization since 1950s, followed by third world developmentalism and planned modernization, had destroyed the world with which had engendered anthropology. The holistic study of isolated, simple, primitive, all are quote unquote societies, and which such a discipline was meaningful. Western anthropologists now found themselves in a new hostile world where their once docile informants are denouncing them as handmaidens of colonialism. And it was not surprising, right? Millions of people across many of the regions relevant to anthropologists had simply dropped out of their world entirely as they became part of socialist countries on the other side of the Iron Curtain. In much of the Third World, armed resistance to US imperialism and neocolonialism sprang up, while in other countries, traditions of revolutionary socialist politics remained strong. The world had suddenly become hostile to the West, while its dominance continued to expand and deepen. So, the changes in global politics, birth of new nations, the colonial legacy and history, neocolonialism, and resistance are in the horizon. For Goff, the contradictions between the threefold set of obligations that anthropologists had always had to the people they studied, to their academic discipline, and to their sponsors and institutions were now reaching a breaking point. Mind you, in every cases, every discipline, these three crises always stays. As Asad pointed out, it was also ironically the Western response to decolonization with plans for generating economic dependency in and political hegemony over the third world, quote unquote, through the international development, finance, and aid regimes that provided the fuel for greater public interest and investment, as well as professionalization, and the expansion of funding opportunities. So that is a very crucial part. Again, the connection between the contextual global world, global politics, academia, those who are funding, the need for any discipline came into play. So, in the face of such transformations, anthropologists tended to respond with even greater specialization and fragmentation, increasingly drawn to the same concepts and tools of the other social sciences that they had declared largely useless for their work not too long ago. Peter Oustley uh, prognosis that anthropologists face the choice of becoming historians of formerly small scale pre industrial societies or devoting their energies and tools to the study of modern societies, thus becoming indistinguishable from other social scientists, appear to have no effective response. So that's it for today. Thank you so much. See you soon.